welcome back to another video. So today I have Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. If you've been watching my channel for quite some time, you know that this is my absolute favorite coloring book. I decided I'm going to color a flower today. It's been quite a long time since I've done a flower tutorial. So I know one of the things that a lot of beginner colorists really struggle with is putting colors together. I want to show you in this video how to throw some colors together, create a color palette, and then just use all of them in one flower. And when it's finished, you will have created the most gorgeous flower. I'm also going to show you the steps that I take to color a flower so that when it's done, it pops off the page, has a lot of depth and dimension, and looks very three-dimensional. Everything you see me use in this video, I will have links for them down in the description box below. If you're interested in practicing how to color flowers and how to color leaves and following some of the tips and tricks I use in some of my flower and leaves tutorials, in my Etsy shop I do have a flowers and leaves practice workbook. In that workbook you will get lots of practice. You'll be able to save all of your color combinations so that later on you can use them in your coloring books. It's been one of my best sellers in my Etsy shop. I will have the link for that down in the description box below. This flower right here is the flower I wanted to color today, and this flower is a really great type of flower to be able to demonstrate how I color flowers. But let me go ahead and show you first what colors I'm choosing to color this flower. So here is my swatch chart. This is my Prismacolor swatch chart. It is available in my Etsy shop as well. Here are my Prismacolors that I'm going to use. Now what I've done here is I have chosen 3 purples and 3 pinks that I feel like will look really nice together. So I've got Black Cherry. This is really going to help me to add all that depth and dimension. And with this color, when you come back and you layer it over and over again, it is really, really dark. Here it is on the swatch chart, and you can see how dark it is. When I lay my colors down on my swatch chart, I like to do 3 different values of the color. So here you're going to see how dark it can get once you continue to layer it. And then we have a lighter value with a little bit lighter pressure, and then super, super light pressure. Always remember, out of each one of your colored pencils, you can always get very different values, meaning a very light version of the color and then a much, much darker version of the color. So I'm going to use this color to really help to add all of that depth and dimension and make my flower look very three-dimensional. So I've got the Black Cherry, the Parma Violet, and the lavender, and these are the 3 purples that I'm going to use. Then I chose some pinks because pinks look very pretty with purples. I have pink, and then blush pink, and then deco pink. These are some of my favorite colors in the Prismacolor set. Now this flower is fairly big, so what I'm going to do in this video is I may be adding some music into some parts of it as I continue to do the same thing, but I will take my time to explain exactly what I'm doing every step of the way as I color the flower. Now, like I said, I felt like this flower was a very good flower to demonstrate how to color flowers, just because it has a whole lot of petals laying over another petal, and it's pretty much the same way all the way around. If you look at any of the other types of flowers, any type of flower, you're going to see that it does have petals laying over one another. By using this flower, I'm basically giving you a tutorial which is going to help you to color any flower throughout this whole entire book. And let me tell you, like the title says, World of Flowers, this book is full of flowers, all different types of flowers. So even if you're not coloring this flower, you can apply these steps to any one of the flowers in this coloring book or any other coloring book. So for those of you that have been watching my videos for quite some time, you know that I usually lay down my highlight color first, and then I go light, medium, and then dark. For this flower, I'm going to do this a little bit different, and I'm going to start with my darkest color because I want this tutorial to be super, super easy and very beginner friendly. And I feel like if you lay down your darkest color first, you'll know exactly where to lay the other colors. So we're going to start with our purple color combination. Before we come back and add in some of the shades of pink. Now, like I said, the black cherry is going to be the color that is used to add all the extra depth and dimension. Each one of these petals is laying over another petal. So anywhere that I see one petal laying over the other, I am going to lay this darkest color in that spot. Right here where this one is touching the center of the flower, I'm also going to lay my darkest color there. Right over here where I see this petal laying over this one, I'm going to add some of this here, and then I'm going to come down here along the bottom where it is coming into the center of the flower, because the center of the flower is actually laying over the top of this petal. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to do that on every single one of these petals, anywhere that I see one petal laying on top of the other. For instance, this petal's laying over the top of this one. I'm going to add my darkest color in there. And remember, this is only acting as a first layer. I'm using fairly lighter pressure and still holding my pencil a little bit further up. The closer you get to the tip of the pencil, you're going to be adding more pressure. So in the beginning, as you're figuring out where to lay your colors on anything that you're coloring, make sure you're holding your fingers further back from the tip of the pencil. But right here, it looks as though this one is laying over the top of the other one. So I want this one to look like it's laying behind. So I'm going to have more of my color right over here. And then all around this center, I'm going to add this color here. Right here, I want it to look like this petal is laying under this one. So I'm going to come right in here on the side and make it a little bit darker using a little bit more pressure. Right here, where I have a lot of this color, I'm leaving a very little bit of white right here to add another color so that I don't have this area touching this area, and it will make it pop a little bit more once I come back with the other colors. So I'm going to lay a lot of this down right here because I want this petal to look like it's laying underneath this one, and of course all right here is going to be a different color. And I'm going to continue to go around the flower and do this everywhere that I want one petal to look as though it's laying underneath another petal. And you see right here where I have this one laying under, and then right here I have this one laying under this one. I'm only going to put this color right here, leaving a very little bit of white space here so that I don't have the black cherry touching the black cherry over here. And I'm just going to keep going around the flower, and I'm going to do this the same way on every one of these petals. You may have noticed I'm starting to come back and add a little bit more of this color, making it a little bit darker. And I will be coming back with the next color in my color combination and blending that color right into this darker one. I'm going to add a little bit of music here until I get to the next step. So I did just go and sharpen my pencil because in some of these, the spaces are really, really small. So if it's easier for you, you can sort of line around the top of the petal and then go in a circular motion and pull it outward. And that will help you to not pull the color too far. And remember, you don't have to necessarily be coloring this flower to follow this tutorial. You can color any flower in any other coloring book or any flower in this particular coloring book and still be able to apply all of these steps. Use the same color combination if you want to, but I'm very excited to see how these colors look when this flower has been completed. Now, if you think you made a mistake and you have added colors and they're sort of touching, don't worry about that because you can always come back with another color from the color combination and go right over it. I'll show you that as we get a little bit further into the video when I come back and start adding the other colors. So we just have a few more petals to finish up. So we have that color down on every single petal. Now I am going to grab my Parma Violet. I'm just going to blend this color right into the black cherry and pull it up a little bit. Let me go ahead and go back here to the center and go outward because I do want more of this color on these petals. Just for transition purposes, I think I am going to add a little bit of this color in the petals further to the outside of the flower. I'm actually going over the black cherry with this color, and I'm not going to pull it up as much as I did on the lower ones. So really what I'm doing here is creating a blend of those two colors. So look at that. We haven't even added all of our layers yet, and you can already see quite a bit of depth and dimension with this flower. So now I have the lavender, my little bitty lavender. And I'm going to use this color to blend into each one of the petals as well and pull the color up a little bit more. And this one's going to be more so on the petals that are closer to the center. And I'm still not pulling all the way up. I'm leaving a little bit of white space in each one of these. I really love this color combination. Y'all have to let me know what you think in the comments below, but that's one of my favorite things to do is putting colors together. So once I start adding some of the pink, wait till you see the contrast in these colors and how it changes up this flower a whole lot. I think that's enough of the lavender. We're going to go to our pink color combination and we're going to start adding in some of these colors. So I think I'm going to start with the pink, and I am going to start blending some of this color into some of these petals that are on the outer side of this flower. This really adds a gorgeous pop of color into these petals. And I'm not going all the way out with this color because I still have two other colors to add in here. And don't be afraid to blend your pink into some of the other colors, and all that's going to do is create another color or a blend of the colors together. And this color does not have to be everywhere. We're just going to go around the flower, adding it wherever we think we want a little bit of pink. Just keep in mind that you have two other pinks to add in here. So earlier where I was telling you if you accidentally laid the black cherry in a space where it was touching another petal where there was black cherry, not to worry about it. This is a great example because you can see that this color will literally lay right over those other colors. See how that pink is standing out a whole lot? And then you can come back right here with the black cherry, lay a little bit more of that, or maybe some of your other shades of purple, and it will create the separation between this petal and this petal. And remember, by leaving a little bit of white space, it helps you to create an extra pop of color as well as even more depth and dimension, because you're going to have your darkest of colors right up against that strip of white. So hopefully you can see how easy it is if you just go ahead and choose your color palette. For me, I chose pinks and purples. If you're coloring leaves, you can maybe go with blues and greens. You can do this on leaves as well. Choose your color palette and then just go with it. After you understand how to color the flower, where you want to make one petal look as though it's laying over another petal, it makes so much more sense, and it makes it so easy for you to know exactly where to lay your colors and how you want your flower to look. So now I have the blush pink. This is just a little bit lighter. I'm gonna add this color by going over the pink and pulling it upward just a little. And again, I'm leaving a little bit of white space because I want my lightest color to go there. And you don't have to use the blush pink in every single petal because I still have the deco pink. Let's go ahead and grab our deco pink now. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the deco pink. I'm gonna use this color just to blend the colors together because this is my lightest color. Okay, so now I'm going to start rotating my colors. I'm going to grab my black cherry, and you can already see that this flower does have quite a bit of depth and dimension, but I'm going to go ahead and sharpen my pencil again because I want to be able to get into every one of these smaller spaces. Look here as I lay this color down, how just by adding another layer and not using very hard pressure, it's really making this petal look as though it's behind that other petal. And I need to do it here on this side as well. And I'm going to go through the entire flower, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to speed this up and add some music. Can you see what a huge difference already this is making? By going over and just adding another layer of this color, it's really darkening it up and adding quite a bit more depth and dimension. You will notice that on some of them I am going over that line right there at the tip of each one of these petals, and I think it makes it look more realistic. This is the color that creates all the magic. Your darkest color of your color combination is always going to be the one that helps you to create all that extra depth and dimension. And if you choose the right colors and you make sure you have a pretty big difference in the value of your colors from your darkest color to your lightest color, you will be able to create a ton of depth and dimension. The key is just adding those layers. So everywhere that I added that black cherry, I'm going to use the Parma Violet to blend it out so that it doesn't look so harsh. And so I'm just pulling the color into the other colors, and then of course I'll come back with my pinks too and blend the colors out even more. Now I have my pink, and like I said, I'm going to come here on the outermost petals and start blending some of this color in there. I'm trying to just look where I previously added this color and maybe adding a second layer, working on covering some of the white of the paper and really getting these colors blended together, because these are the final steps now of our flower. Now I'm going to go to the next color, which is the blush pink, and I'm going to use this just like I did before and start blending some of these colors together. I have the Deco Pink, and I'm going to use this color to go over these petals and really blend those colors together, and adding it in the tips of some of these petals where I didn't have any pink yet. Okay, so I decided I wanted to experiment with something a little bit. I grabbed the Process Red. I'm going to see what this looks like if I just add it in a few different places in the flower, but I think it'll change it up just a little. Oh, look how pretty that is. Oh yeah, I like that. So since I do like it, I'm just going to go around the flower and add a little bit of that color, and the color will layer right over those other colors. Oh wow, that really changed it up quite a bit. Never be afraid to experiment with your colors and try to come up with something new. Look how much brightness it added. Oh, I love it. I love how it looks a little bit different depending on where I lay the color. If I blend it into the pinks, it looks much more bright and vibrant. And then if I layer it over the darker colors, it adds a little bit of brightness to it, but makes a really beautiful blend of those colors. Wow, what a difference. Our flower has a ton of depth and dimension, and I absolutely love the way that it turned out, but we have to finish off the center. I have these Tuliart acrylic paint pens, which I am absolutely loving. A wonderful subscriber sent these to me. I have been using them so much. This is the Essentials pack, and it comes with 30, but it's got the finer tip on it. They're much like the Posca pens. They are cheaper than the Posca pens, and I feel like they work just as good. But I'm gonna use the yellow to color in the center of the flower. I'm just going up and down with this and trying not to cover up the black lines, because I tell you, if you're looking for paint pens to cover your black lines in your coloring books, these are a fantastic choice. I almost think that they cover the black lines better than my Posca pens do. But I like to use the paint pens for the centers of the flowers because a lot of times I will bring my colors into the center by accident. And so this really helps to go over that so that it doesn't show, and it kind of helps fix my mistake. But I am going over the center with these because I didn't like all the black there in that center. But look how well it covered up the black in the coloring book. All of those black lines in the center are completely gone. I absolutely love these pens. And now I have my stickles. This is the color Sunburst. So we're just gonna go ahead and lay the stickles down right over the top of the paint pen. And the stickles are not opaque, at least these aren't. So I can just go in a circular motion, go over the whole entire thing, and it will just add that really beautiful reflective glitter down there. It will also add a little bit of dimension to the center of my flower. And that's one of the reasons that I really, really love the stickles, because now the center looks like it's kind of standing off the page. But there's my flower, and as you can see, it is fairly easy, even for beginners, to be able to choose a color palette. In this case, I chose pinks and purples, and then use those colors to lay them down around the flower, spreading them out, using them in different places. And in the end, it creates a beautiful flower that looks like it is popping off the page, super three-dimensional, and I'm really happy with it. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments below. Everything that you've seen me use in this video, I will have linked down in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Happy coloring! Bye.